Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video is episode 6 in our series, Satan 101, an intro into the devil's schemes. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a little trick that Satan might want to play on us sometimes when we're in difficulty to try to make us lose focus and potentially fall into sin as a result. Now, what is the trick? Let's say somebody offends us. Maybe we're in difficulty, marital crisis with our spouse, friends that betray us, that do something wrong to us, whatever the case may be, coworkers, etc. What Satan naturally wants us to do is to begin to fight people. Maybe people don't believe in the message we're preaching, we begin to fight them. Like the Christians in those days, they went on these things called crusades. They began to kill and imprison people who didn't believe in Christ and so on, right? We begin to do things like that. Why is this something Satan wants us to do? Satan wants us to do this so that we can forget about him. We can forget the fact that many people do what's wrong because, as Paul said, they are taken captive by the devil to do his will. So we begin to attack people, we begin to take revenge. If people did a bad thing to us, we do a worse thing to them, right? Simeon and Levi, remember that story? How they killed all the people of Shechem because of what one of their people did to their sister Dinah. If you read Genesis chapter 34, we begin to feel like David, I'm going to kill Nabal and all his house because of the way Nabal treated my servants, right? We don't want to do that because when we do that, we're forgetting the spirit forces that influence people to do bad things. In a sense, we're beating a dead horse. We're not really addressing the problem. And that may get us into sin when we, instead of helping people overcome their weaknesses, we make their lives worse instead. That's why Paul said in Romans chapter 12, verse 19, quoting a verse in Deuteronomy, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay, said the Lord." You saw how Jesus Christ, when he would meet the Pharisees and scribes, people who hated him, people who wanted to do him wrong, Jesus didn't use his spirit powers against them. No, he was nonviolent, he was peaceful, he preached the message, and he targeted Satan. He targeted their hypocrisy. He wanted to expose how Satan was using them to deceive the people so that he could free the Jews, rather than causing a riot in the city, gathering all the Jews together like some people do in modern times to riot against the Pharisees, cause destruction and so on because they want to create change. Satan would love us to do that so that we forget about him and we just begin to focus on humans. But the smart thing, as Jesus Christ said, be wise as serpents but harmless as doves, the smart thing is to just target Satan and fight spiritually rather than physically. This is precisely what Paul the Apostle told us to do in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 3 to 6, where he said, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled." We fight spiritually. We focus on exposing Satan's schemes so that we can free people who are currently in his bondage. That's the smarter way to fight, so that we can get souls won to Christ and we can dismantle what Satan is trying to do. So for example, if we're facing marital crisis, what Satan would want us to do is to break the marriage and divorce because we see our spouse as the enemy. The spiritually smart thing to do is to focus on, okay, Satan is trying to cause crisis in the home. He's trying to divide the home, perhaps because we have young ones and he doesn't want them to grow up and have a good future. So we need to focus on resolving the crisis so that our children can have a good future. We can have a good marriage. Of course, this is easier said than done. We may have a spouse who is adamant on not doing the will of God, and we can't force them. But we want to focus on preserving the spiritual sanctity of marriage as much as we possibly can, rather than fall into the trap, dismantle God's institutions, act recklessly because we're trying to physically fight a human being. It's a fruitless exercise. We don't end up achieving the result we want. So I just wanted to use this in case this may happen in our lives. We'll be able to use the scriptures to act wisely in this situation and see ourselves on the high road in the future. So that's where I'm going to stop on this video. I thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day, and God bless you.